Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Baltimore RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news now, Ravens fans. You know how much we're all about the drama, the strategy, the big moves that can shift the tide of a season. And folks, what's happening right now in the AFC North is nothing short of seismic. There's a buzz, rumors, whispers, about a potential blockbuster trade that could shake up not only the division but the entire conference. It's about the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that's been struggling this season with a record of 3-5, and their shaky defense and fragile offensive line. Sources close to the league, like Adam Schefter, are indicating that Cincinnati is planning to trade Trey Hendrickson, a key pass rusher, in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027. That's right, a player who's been a significant part of their defense could be on the move. And what's more, the Bengals are reportedly gaining around $16 million in cap space, which they plan to use for extensions to young talent like T. Higgins. But why would Cincinnati do this? Well, the rationale is clear. Their defense is hemorrhaging points, allowing about 28 points per game, and their pass rush has been virtually non-existent, with just 16 sacks in 7 games. The offensive line, meanwhile, has been allowing approximately 6 sacks per game, which is a huge issue when you're trying to keep Joe Burrow upright and competitive. It's a classic case of a team trying to reset, to rebuild, possibly aiming for a fresh start in the draft or to free up cap space to bolster their roster in other areas. Some analysts are already comparing this move to the Saints' approach in 2024, where they shed veteran players to rebuild. Now, that's where it gets really interesting for the Ravens. Hendrickson, the sack maestro, is a guy who's been a constant threat on the edge. He's got a career total of 65 sacks, which puts him among the more explosive pass rushers in the league. His stats are eye-popping: 148 QB hits, a PFF grade of 92. And this season, until September 15th, he had already accumulated 10 sacks, along with 20 pressures. His win rate stands at around 31%, and his expected points added per sack is roughly 53, which means he's consistently disruptive. Hendrickson is a multiple-time All-Pro, and many compare him to a Khalil Mack-style player in his prime. He's got an 87% tackle efficiency and has forced 12 fumbles over his career, making him a game-changer. For the Cincinnati Bengals, the age factor is a concern. Hendrickson is 30, and some skeptics believe that his durability and wear and tear might be limiting his long-term value. They see this trade, if it happens, as a reset, similar to how the Saints unloaded veterans in 2024, trying to hit the reset button and rebuild for the future. But for the Ravens, this potential acquisition isn't just about filling a hole, it's about transforming their entire defensive front. Right now, Baltimore is sitting at 2-5, a tough start that's been marred by injuries and inconsistency. The defense, which once was a fortress, has struggled to generate pressure. They've recorded just 16 sacks in 7 games, a number that's far below what's needed to compete at the highest level. But with Hendrickson, that could all change. He's the kind of player who can elevate the pass rush, especially alongside Justin Madubuike, who's been recovering from injury but has shown flashes of brilliance with a PFF grade of 86. The addition of Hendrickson could push the Ravens to reach double-digit sacks per game, which would dramatically alter their defensive identity. Imagine the impact. Hendrickson in the McDonald defense, working in stunts, stifling the opposing quarterbacks and forcing turnovers. Historically, he's been a force in generating pressure, raising the team's pressure rate by over 22%, according to some projections. That's exactly what Baltimore needs to complement their existing pass rush, which has been somewhat anemic this season. They've been allowing opposing offenses to breathe, and that's been a big reason why they're struggling to close out games and generate turnovers. The Ravens' run defense would also benefit immensely. Hendrickson's presence could cut down on explosive plays, reducing the percentage of big gains allowed by 19%. That's huge because in the AFC North, a division known for its physical, grind-it-out games, stopping the big plays is often the key to victory. When you think about the Ravens' secondary, which has been somewhat exposed at times, A fierce pass rush like this could give those defenders a much-needed breather, allowing them to lock down receivers and make more plays on the ball. Now, from a strategic standpoint, adding Hendrickson could also significantly improve the Ravens' chances on third down. Their third down defense has been struggling, with opponents converting at a high rate, around 59%. With Hendrickson's ability to generate pressure and force quarterbacks into hurried throws, the Ravens could see that number drop closer to 40–45%. That's a game changer because it means more opportunities for Baltimore to get the ball back, extend drives, and control the pace of the game. And let's not forget about the impact on Lamar Jackson. With a stronger front, Lamar would have more time to execute his plays, especially in the passing game. His QBR, which is currently around 89.5 after a full recovery from his hamstring injury, could see a boost. The mismatches created by Hendrickson's presence on the edge could open up more passing lanes, giving Lamar more options and making the Ravens' offense even more dangerous. It's a classic case of a good defense elevating the entire team, and if Baltimore can land Hendrickson, it could be the piece that pushes them into playoff contention and maybe even deep into the postseason. Looking at the bigger picture, this move would elevate Baltimore's Super Bowl odds significantly. Currently, their chances are around +12.0, long shots, but with Hendrickson, those odds could drop to +5.0 or better. He's the kind of player who could serve as an X-factor in the playoffs, especially against mobile quarterbacks, which are becoming more prevalent in today's NFL. His ability to contain those QBs and generate crucial stops could be the difference between a deep run and an early exit. Now, the divisional implications are huge. If Baltimore manages to add Hendrickson, it's not just about improving their defense, it's about asserting dominance in the AFC North. The division has been a battleground, with teams like Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland vying for supremacy. But the Ravens, with their history of strong defenses and playoff success, could reassert their dominance with a move like this. It's reminiscent of the Ray Lewis era, where Baltimore's defense was a nightmare for offenses, a unit that could turn games on its head in a matter of plays. Adding Hendrickson could be the first step toward rebuilding that kind of legacy. Of course, there's always some skepticism. Some fans and analysts wonder whether investing so much in a 30-year-old pass rusher is wise. Concerns about wear and tear, long-term durability, and whether Cincinnati will actually go through with the trade are all factors to consider. But if the deal goes through, the Ravens would be getting a player in the prime of his career, someone who's proven he can consistently produce at a high level. And with the right scheme adjustments, Hendrickson's impact could be even greater. As we look ahead, the Ravens are undoubtedly eyeing this potential move as a way to turn their season around. They've been battling injuries, with Nnamdi Madubuike and Tavius Robinson both sidelined at different points, Madubuike since August and Robinson in September. Their absence has been felt along the defensive line, which has struggled to generate consistent pressure. A player like Hendrickson could fill that gap immediately, bringing energy, experience, and a proven track record of sacks and disruptiveness. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't just about one player or one game. It's about a franchise that's always been defined by its defense and its ability to adapt and evolve. Baltimore has a history of making bold moves when it matters most, and this could be one of those moves. If they do get Hendrickson, it's not just a rental. It's a statement, an assertion that Baltimore is serious about reclaiming their spot at the top of the AFC and contending for Super Bowl titles once again. They're building a defense that echoes their glory days, a unit that can dominate the line of scrimmage, pressure the quarterback relentlessly, and create chaos for any offense that steps onto their field. So, Ravens fans, keep your eyes peeled. The next few weeks could be pivotal. If this trade happens, it might just be the move that transforms this season from a rebuilding campaign into a legitimate Super Bowl push. A move that echoes the old Ravens mantra, defense wins championships. And with Hendrickson on board, that mantra could become a reality once again. We'll be watching closely, bringing all the updates, analysis, and insights as the story unfolds. And remember, no matter what happens, this is what makes being a Ravens fan so exciting, expecting the unexpected, and believing that greatness is always within reach. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's see how this story develops. Because the future of the Baltimore Ravens could be about to change forever.